Hello and welcome to another Maps Arts the Block, or it's a Maps the Block. I don't remember, but that's okay because today we're gonna be talking about character design. This is I think one of the last videos that we have Bandicam, so that's awesome. I got this other recorder, and you're gonna start seeing those videos soon. It's called Panopto. It's a website, and you can record on it. I'm not sponsored or anything, but it works really well. Um, I just have to convert the file, and I can edit it like normal. So that's pretty cool. It actually takes like a whole day to export because it's such. Because I can record now a whole hour. So or whatever I'm working, like however long I'm working. Usually my sessions go for like like an hour. Actually we can talk about that. So yeah, okay. You're watching me now working on some character designs for a short movie that I am working on. It's codenamed Catalan. Catalan means it's like a place. Catalunya, I think it's called, in Spain, and people that come from there are called Catalans and Catalanos, maybe. And yeah, it's not my story. It's a story of a friend, and I'm just doing the short animation. Right now I'm working on the girl character, and yeah, that's what I'm doing on screen. What I want to talk about though is about time management. As a freelancer, you don't have enough time to do everything in the world, but you do have about, if you're a full-time freelancer, you can do 8 hours a day, or if you're like a part-time freelancer, you could do 4 hours a day. If you're like me, you're an ideal list, and ideally, I work 6 hours, right? And then I have the rest of the time for myself to work, to play games, to do other stuff, to go out. Because, work is not everything, even if you do art. Do not be mistaken. Just because you do art for a living does not mean that every moment of every second of your life has to be art, right? Because it's important to know that art comes from inspiration, and to be inspired you need to do new things, right, and learn new things and visit new places and see new things, right. So you have, that's part of the art process too. So in a way you're actually doing art all the time, but the the excuse is that some of the art stuff doing is traveling and vacations and stuff and having fun and all that. Like my favorite place to go is Disney World. I like it. Of course, that's like cliche. I haven't been to many places other than that, in terms of vacations. But right now, I really like it. I want to keep going there. I feel like I haven't explored the whole place and the whole thing. But eventually, at some point, maybe I'll move on, and it'll probably be Universal. No, no, it'll be something else, of course. But the good thing about being a freelancer is that you can set your time, right? And you have, let's go ideal. Let's say you work 6 hours a day in your freelance craft, whatever that may be, right? Could be music, could be singing, could be voice acting, could be art, animation, whatever. Freelance, right? Could be making jewelry for all I know. I don't know. But if you split down those 6 hours that you're gonna work, of course, forever. This is what I work. Otherwise, it's not a work day kind of stuff. If you split it down to stuff that you can do, right? Because there's a theory, I don't remember the name of it, but the idea is that if you give a task 2 hours, it's going to take 2 hours. If you give a task 20 minutes, it's going to take 20 minutes. Of course, that changes depending on the tasks. But the idea is that time, or the task fills up the time, right? We learn to do that, right? So what I do, a lot of people do stuff like Pomodoro Technique, which is like they work for like 58 minutes and then they take like a 15 minute break or something like that. What I do is like I used to do Pomodoro, but it wasn't as efficient. Eventually, I've gone to this part of the process where I work an hour, then take like a 10-minute break. I go walk upstairs, eat something, get some water, just walk around, do something else for a little bit, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And then I go back to work for another hour. And I keep doing that until I finish my 6 hours. And when that time is done, it's done. Sometimes the breaks after the hour come for like, I don't know, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Maybe I take a nap. Um, Nothing longer than an hour at all. Usually it's way less than an hour. Sometimes it's just 5 minutes. I just go upstairs, get some water, and come back. But what that allows me to do, oh, by the way, the thing I do with this is I work for an hour on most tasks, right? So say I have a painting, right? I'll add it to my to-do list. Of course, it's not gonna take an hour to finish a painting unless it's a really simple painting. But I'll add it to my to-do list. I'll work on it, work for an hour, and then I move it, right? So I move it at the bottom of the to-do list, and then when I come back, I work on another hour on another project, and then I move that. And what that does is that every time I keep moving it down, the thing that was at the bottom goes up, right? So eventually, I'm gonna get the same task again, and that's the second hour that I work on it. And since I'm doing like 6 hour work days, that means I can do roughly six things every day, right? Sometimes it's less because stuff like game development is really fun for me, and game dev for me, programming all that stuff takes 2 hours, right? For me to get my fill, for me to be like, oh, this was fun, right? This wasn't. Oh, at the 2 hour mark, it starts getting boring. Art, in the other hand, gets boring around the the hour and a half mark. I've been doing it for like 10 years now, so it's understandable that I'm very good at it, which means I can get more done in an hour. But that also means that I get bored of it really quickly. It doesn't present as many challenges. You don't think that much. You just kind of zone out, and yeah, I just zone out, put a podcast, and in about an hour, I did a lot of work, but I'm bored. So I'll move on to the next thing. And but in game development, I do 2 hours, and that's about. Sometimes it can take like 3 or 4 hours because I don't know why, but the game dev like gets me in my zone, man. Like I'm very bad at programming. I'm not good at it. I whenever I like write code, I always end up with like a ton of bugs and stuff. But it's still very fun for me. I really enjoy it, and sometimes I can just go for hours, right? Like I'll check the clock, and it'll be 2 hours later or 3 hours later. So that's why I cap it at 2 hours, because in 2 hours I can get a lot of stuff done, um, and then move on to the next thing. So yeah, that's basically what I think that's the end of that whole thing about time management. Basically, just to round it up, um, set a certain time. It doesn't matter when you do it. Just set an amount of time. Something like 6 hours is great. If you're doing part time stuff, you have another job or something. 4 hours is pretty good. But even if you just have 2 hours, right? Then split that time, whatever time is constant for you. It doesn't matter when you do it as long as you do it, right? There's some days I wake up at 8 and I'm out by 6, right? Or there's some days I wake up at 10 and I'm out by 8 or something. Um, it doesn't matter when you do it, just something that you can do every day. Say I'm going to do an hour every day. Then once you have that time set out and you have it ingrained in yourself that that's creating creative time, creative exploration time, whatever, um then you got to split that time to little chunks, right? So if you have 4 projects that you want to work on and you have 2 hours, that means you can do 30 minutes on each project. It's not a lot, right? But for the most part, you can do 30 minutes on each project or an hour on 2 projects, and then the next session you do the other two. Because that's another thing. There's always a tomorrow. Whatever you don't get done today, that's okay. You can do it tomorrow. Um, you don't have to put that much stress in yourself. So yeah, that's the end of it. I guess we can go back to the video now. And here I'm working on the character sheet, and the way I do it is after I get all my doodles out, I get all my ideas ready. I find out whatever it is that I wanted. I get all my concept variations done. I'll take uh my mostly done character sheet or character designs, and I'll sketch them. Right, I'll get the front view first. I'll try and get all the proportions right, get his smile right, get his face right, everything right on that front view. And then I'll draw lines, right, to indicate where each part of it ends. And I'm not doing it like you can see here, it doesn't end on where the color ends, it ends on the shape of his body, which is a rectangle, right? Kind of like a rectangle, like spreading out, but it's a rectangle nonetheless, right? So we're doing that's where it ends because I'm not when I draw the thing, I just want to get the major shapes down, right? When I draw the next view of it, I think I do all four views here of both characters. Um, what this does, and having a character sheet, what it does is, when you work with other animators or even with yourself, right? It helps you maintain consistency along the characters. Because when we're sketching, sometimes we forget things. Sometimes we forget the mouth, the nose. Sometimes we forget because we're going fast. We're trying to get the whole big picture thing going, right? And when we start forgetting stuff, we need and we give it to a cleanup artist, and we don't have a character sheet. They don't know that we forgot those things. They just think that they think that those things don't exist, right? But when they have a character sheet and they look back at the character sheet, they'll see that you forgot it and they'll add it in, which maintains consistency amongst your characters or your animations, right? So that is very important. I used to know this, but the person that told me that like he does it for every project and I started doing it for every animation project was Will's random artwork. Great animator, great freelancer, great guy overall. Hopefully we might be in talks about making games. We'll see what happens there. um so yeah, see what I did was for this now, uh, it's actually like mostly done. I'm doing the side view now. What I did was you flip the front view, right, and you flip it horizontally so it's facing the other way, and then you take out all the front details. Because for the most part, when you flip it that way, you already have a back view. I'm not very good at side views, as you can see here. I get there for the like it ends up pretty good, but I still need to work on my side views. Getting those proportion right. How the face starts. I think it's obfuscating elements, so that means hiding behind other elements. Um, it's a little hard sometimes to wrap my head around stuff, and I'm not very good at anatomy. Still need to work on that too. So it's a little hard for me to get those views right. They take me a little more. I like doing the butts. The butts are fun. I think it gives them a little bit of reality to the characters. It's like, yeah, dude, he has a butt. He's a person. Like, yeah, that's I don't know. That's pretty fun for me. I like figurines with butts too. I think it's kind of cute, kind of funny. So I like doing those things, right? This guy does not have that much of a butt, but eventually when I clean it up, he'll get it, right? So what else? What else can I talk about? See, I'm just using the same measurements for from the things that I have behind. I'm copying some stuff like tracing over it just so I can reuse it. On the other side, you can see the girl. I'm not showing most of the development of the girl, but yeah, they're there. After I get the sketches done, I'll go in, I'll make my grid lines or my yeah, I guess we can call them grid lines. My grid lines, I make them blue or like a light gray. I get now I start actually adding them like for when where I want the stuff to lined up. Um, because I'm gonna go into the inking phase, and the inking phase is a lot more cleaner. It's a lot more finalized and more substantial in general. So yeah, I don't know why I stopped. Probably got a pizza or something. But here we are, and now we're cleaning it up. I'm using just a standard round brush. I like doing that for cleanup. Earlier, I was using like a slanted rectangle brush to do my sketch because it gives it a little bit of a I don't know. It gives a character. It reminds me of Japanese brushes for some reason, and I feel like it gives them a little bit of oomph. Like makes them a little hardcore. I don't know. It's just my thing. But it's new too. I recently started doing that. Liked it a lot and kept doing it. But for clean stuff, I still do my round brushes, right? Because I like that nice line with that like uh, pen pressure sensitivity end at the end. Um, it's just very nice to have that dark line around everything. Makes it like a final decision. When people look at it, you're like, okay, he took this decision. This is what he wanted to do because it's just one line. It's perfect. It looks very good, very methodical, very thought out. Um, for stuff like this, it's very clear, very concise, and you want that in a character sheet because other people are going to look at it and they're going to base their decisions on it. So you want it to be very perfect, this is what it is and nothing else, nothing more. Just this. There's no room for interpretation. It's just this is what it is, right? If he has the little thing at the bottom of the boot, he should have it on every frame. That's what it is. If he has the squiggle on the arm representing the hair, he should have it on every frame. That's the idea of it when you do a character sheet. Um, oh, see, it says you cannot be saved. That's because Dropbox is I'm saving faster than Dropbox is updating. So I have to turn on off Dropbox so I can save on the same file. Otherwise, it won't let me. Yeah, that's the bad thing about internet speed. But yeah, we're coming close to finishing. I hope you enjoyed this video. We talked about character design, we talked about time management, and you saw some stuff. And this is hopefully one of the last videos we use Bandicam. So next time you won't see all those crazy artifacts. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.